So welcome back for the very last session. Hang on, just 45 minutes and then the conclusion remarks. So the last topic of today is the role of education in a cultural ecosystem. So we'll be seeing this the systemic approach of the sector. And what Mara just did, she told our names and the institutions that we represent, but I suggest that we still, it should be working. Katrina, I should be able to change slides. Yeah, we represent quite different positions in this whole ecosystem, but let's see, what does it mean, an ecosystem? Is it the sum of different elements that nurture between themselves, building this field, the sector more stronger and more stable, probably? So in the disorder, let's introduce ourselves once again and maybe say a word of your role in this ecosystem.
Hello, my name is Andra Rutkēviča. I'm a representative from the Ministry of Culture of Latvia, and I'm the one who oversees the performing arts in the field of ministry. So, and the way how ministry is overlooking circus is through Riga Circus. That's the way how he overlooks the whole field. So if briefly, I guess.
Hello, my name is Séverine Stighelen. I work at Circuscentrum, which is the support and knowledge center for circus arts in Flanders, officially since 2021. Originally, it was founded as an umbrella organization of youth circuses many years ago. And in 2007, it got a focus on more professional development of the sector, including residencies and creation and presentation. But since 2021, we are the official link between the government and the sector. I bring the perspective of Flanders as a region with a clear circus policy. At Circuscentrum, I'm the responsible for international positioning and fundraising, and my professional background before Circuscentrum since 2022, so before that, is as an international policy officer in higher education.
Hi, my name is Krišjānis Sants. I am Riga-based, internationally working independent dance artist, scenographer, more and more also organizer and lobbyist for the independent cultural sector. I've studied in 3 different art schools in 2 different countries, in 2 different sectors, going through 2 different crises. And I think I'm bringing this perspective a little bit from a side, because I don't see myself as directly as an educator, but more as this, Yuri in the morning mentioned these artists who are making something in their basements, and then education sector brings them in to provide a perspective, and this is how I see myself within the art field.
Hello, I'm Ramona Galkina, and actually I'm representing like that formal education part, the Latvian Academy of Culture, and I've been there in like different roles, at first as a student, and then as an educator, and then again as a student in the doctoral studies. So it's some kind, I have like 2 points of looking at it. And yeah, so I'm still choreographer and also sometimes dancer.
Hello, I'm Peggy. I'm the director of the Centre National of Circus Art in Châlons-en-Champagne. I'm working on circus for almost 30 years now. I had many different occupations. Most of them were I'm producer on a circus company. Most of them are from CNAC or high school. And that's it.
And myself, so I'm Signe Bahšteina from Latvia. I represent an educational sector. I work at the Latvian Academy of Culture, but here today I'm more because I do a circus research, especially transcultural perspectives of the circus world. So thank you for being here today. The ecosystem consists of different parts, as we said, and maybe to set the context of a Latvian circus or arts ecosystem, may I ask Andra from Latvian Ministry of Culture to set the to share the status quo of this field in Latvia. What is the context? Why are we having two dance and choreography representatives? Well, how it makes sense? So what is the situation in Latvia?
So I guess we had to go back a little bit to the roots of contemporary circus, because up to year 2016 there was in the same building was a traditional circus, and only because of amendments to the animal protection law, we had the possibility and right and to change the status of circus, just to transform it. And so we can say that contemporary circus is in its childhood. It's less than 10 years old. And do you know what happens with childs when they hang out with older ones? So they grow up first quicker. So we hope that the thing that we are in today will help as well circus grow quicker. And so, still going back to the roots, we had the circus has to do a lot of things, and one of things that was already said in the morning, that you have to change as well a perception of audience, how you perceive the circus. So you have to change the mindset from the circus as an entertainment and circus into arts. And so, but if we go to the things that the Ministry of Culture did, so we spend the public money in building the infrastructure for circus. So this building was reconstructed in 2022. But the things that we really realize that to be the long-term sustainability, we have to not invest only in the infrastructure and buildings, but as well in persons and arts. And that's the next step we have to take at some point. And another thing that at the end of the previous year, we made circus a new role to be to host the contemporary dance, as we see that both circus and contemporary dance as non-verbal forms of art had a lot of common, and I think they can do a lot of things together, and as well maybe build a stronger audience and interfere, and as well work on the international level. So it's on a very, very beginning, and I think there's a long way to go. We wish we had more money, but just we have a vision how we are moving on.
Yeah, vision is probably the most essential, what's needed. May I ask Séverine and then Peggy to share shortly what is the situation in Flanders, Belgium, with the let's say the big picture of actors of the circus ecosystem.
So maybe just a little side note before starting. So we have Belgium and we have the Flemish region, and then we have Wallonie, Brussels as a second region. meaning that both culture and education in Belgium are regional competences, so it comes with also different political structure. So in Flanders we have a circus degree. The ecosystem in Flanders, as it looks now, consists of about 5 circus creation spaces, about 20 youth circuses, of which 8 are receiving structural funding, about 80 circus companies, of which 5 receive structural funding, and then we also have a number of circus festivals that have a yearly festivals. This circus degree is now existing for 18 years, and it supports both in structural funding and project-based funding. The establishment of this circus degree didn't happen overnight. In fact, we have to go a little bit back in history, in the 70s, where circus sort of experienced a revival. There was a minister of culture who had she had a heart or a passion for circus, let's say, and she put circus on the list of cultural manifestations. And in 1998, Circus Ronaldo was recognized as cultural ambassador, which was a recognition for traditional circus in Flanders. And then a little bit later, I believe it was in 2001, a term sheet was signed between seven traditional tented circuses, which was also a recognition of the traditional circus, and there was a sort of an agreement to work on the perception of circus. And then a couple of years later, the first stepping stones towards the circus, or the first circus degree, were laid in the shape of a temporary regulation for support for contemporary circus, which then led in 2008 to the first circus decree, which was giving the opportunity to apply for project-based funding to create shows, to organize circus festivals. This decree existed for about 10 years, then it was evaluated, and in 2019 the second circus decree was installed. There were some changes done, so the project-based support kept on existing, but now structural support was also possible. So structural funding for a circus centrum, Circuscentrum. Then also the youth circuses could apply for structural funding, the circus creation spaces and circus companies. And then there's also the possibility to apply for international touring funding and development grants for artists who want to do research on specific topic or specific skills. In terms of budget, the first 2 cycles of the first circus decree had an annual budget of 3 million euros. And the second circus decree had an annual budget of 6 million euros, so it was doubled. So that's where we are today.
Maybe I can tell a brief story about this education system as well in Latvia. So we, for contemporary dance, we have this education already for 30 years, but they were missing the infrastructure and the place where to perform. So and the circus had vice versa, they had an infrastructure, but there is just now any educational system in Latvia. So we somehow try to combine these two together, just maybe help each other in a way.
Yeah, that's the idea of an ecosystem, to combine things so that they can grow. Peggy, can you elaborate a bit on, I imagine France has lots of infrastructure and schools and many elements.
Yeah. Yeah, there's many things in France, and there are a strong connection between all of them. First of all, for sure, that the Ministry of Culture, I think there are almost 20 millions. They give a different structure. We have 3 national schools, So, you know, Les Actos Lido, l'Académie Fratellini and le CNAC. And we have the Pôle Cirque, les Pôles Nationaux Cirque. It's the special theater only for circus, for creation and touring and everything. And they are 15 now. I'm not sure, 14 or 15. 15, the last one was 15. And that's nice because the last one was very connection between a company, Mathieu Rimbolz, who used to be a student in the CNAC, and a circus school preparatory school in Lyon, and a festival. So this is the new one. And so the company can, most of them are going to that kind of Pôle Cirque, and they have residency and they can be programming and everything. And then we have a lot of festival. I think before the COVID, we were like more than 600 circus company. Such a lot. And beside the Pôle Cirque, we have all the theater who can program circus also, and the festival. And for sure, we have the régime de l'intermittence, like, I mean, special thing, like when you are not working, you can have money, and it's just amazing. And the director of the Cirque Plune used to say a few years ago that all the money for the company is the same as the amount of the flowers of the Opéra de Paris. That seems just amazing because it's France, so we are not the richest, the circus in France, but it's very okay. And the thing is, we are very organized between a circus school and like high school or preparatory school, and the Pôle Cirque and the festival and the company, and we know all each other, and it's very organized, and with the support of the Ministry of Culture for sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned those three institutions. This is like university, higher education level, but for the whole France. But it happens not to have a higher education institution in arts in every country, not even a region. What does it mean for a region to have a circus school or dance school of the highest level? What can it bring to the region or to the territory?
For me, the question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When you have a school in a region, you mean?
Yeah. What is the advantage that the circus school can bring to what's the attractiveness?
I think they create many connections in the area, because when you have students, they can stay around after the school, not in Châlons-en-Champagne because of the weather, but usually they can stay, and because they can. I think the hardest thing when you go out the school is to find a way to continue to train. That's the most difficult thing in France, but I think everywhere. And that's now in the CNAC for 4 years now. I'm there, and we open for professional artists, and it changed a lot because some people stay in Châlons-en-Champagne now just because they have space to train, especially when you have a discipline like, I don't know, a swinging trapeze or something like that. It's quite hard to find some place. And we know, like, for example, in Toulouse, in La Grainerie, it's a really good place for artists because it used to be, for such a long time, a place to train, and then they live there, and they create company, and then after that they create festival and everything. So I think it's the best way to start to create something. When there's a school, you can have so many so many things could happen because people live there.
Thank you. Krišjānis, you have also some experience studying abroad.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what does the school do for the region? And of course, it feels like it roots the young professionals into the place. I studied in Belgium in PARTS, Performing Arts Research and Training Studio, which has an international program, so I would say that big part of the Belgium dance scene, which is by coincidence also in Belgium, where I studied, a big part of the Belgium dance scene are people who arrived in Brussels to study in this school and then stay. But in case of Latvia, where I also studied, you feel rooted. That's a place to return. That's where you have made your connections. So the local geography, let's say, can benefit from bringing in professionals. But not only, of course. I mean, the school is also, in case, I guess, of the circus building, when there is the building and the program happening, then a school can be also a tool to engage the audience, to bring in the people, the local people who then, that's another way, another tool how to engage, the institution can engage with the local audience.
And I think we can always talk about from the perspective of the place, or the city, or a region, or a country, but also from personal perspective, what does make an artist to go to some place, and what can make him or her to go to another place or come back to their home country. Yeah, but maybe Ramona, from the perspective of an institution, can you comment on your network of your students? Do they go abroad after the studies at the Latvian Academy of Culture? They come back? You try to come them back? What's the dynamic?
Yes, they go abroad, they study abroad, they come back, but they have good connections then abroad as well. And actually, it's quite usual that when they graduate Latvian Academy of Culture of BA, they go to masters or some special programs abroad, and some of them try to be there and here, but anyway, if they come to Latvia with a great pleasure, they are really ready to come and teach and lead workshops, and that's, I think, very important, that somehow Academy is a point where we come and cross our careers sooner, later, and it's that kind of network going also through the Latvian Academy of Culture.
We have the route, and then we have the routes. Then they cross.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. Séverine, I guess you have something to add on that, the Flanders perspective.
Yes, from the Flanders perspective, also tying it to the topic, roots and routes. There is no bachelor for circus arts embedded in the Flemish higher educational system. There is CNAC in Brussels, but it's not under the Flemish authority. So although there is a clear circus policy and circus ecosystem in Flanders, at the moment there's no Bachelor of Circus Arts in the Flemish community. So in 2024, Circuscentrum did a landscape sketch, and we sort of mapped where do prospective students go if they want to pursue a degree in circus arts. So we took a look at the numbers, and we saw that most or the majority of the students, they go abroad, either to the Netherlands, to Fontis or Codarts, or to France as well, CNAC, ESAC to Lido, or to Stockholm. Also, some go to ESAC, but it's rather a minority. In the last 10 years, 5 Flemish students graduated from ESAC. At the moment, we have about 23 students that are studying in different higher education institutions abroad. And I would say that in Flanders, the leisure schools or the youth circuses play a very important role in bringing youngsters and children into connection with circus. Also, Circuscentrum has been organizing in collaboration with ESAC and UP a preparatory internship for almost, first edition started I think in 2006, a preparatory internship to orient prospective students to higher education institutions, circus schools, and we see that almost 80% of Flemish alumni have followed this preparatory internship. So I would say that's also an important route to have in an ecosystem.
We mentioned connections that young artists would make abroad or wherever actually. How important the schools, probably university level, but not only, how important the schools are in this connection making, being hubs of connections between different professionals, artists or managers, producers, etc., in the same field or maybe with other fields, other art fields, maybe dance or maybe cinema, theater.
So we have like master level, which somehow invites different art forms. Dance is one of them, theater, cinema, and also dramaturgy. So it's some kind of, it's not interdisciplinary, but students really dive into the other art forms as well. So, but staying still, for instance, with dance, if they enter like potentially dance master. So, yeah, that's we have. And the other thing, what Academy can propose is those international programs like Erasmus+, BIP, Nordeas. It's very fruitful, very not just what they get there, like studying-wise, but also like making connections and also opening those borders, I would say, from art to different art. So it's some kind of, yeah, I think it's also like festivals. So I think it's a really very nice thing to open up, and maybe dance and circus could open or somehow get into that kind of connection.
I think I have 2 points here. I compare of finishing at a school, like being born not only in a certain geography and making roots there, but also into a certain field. The example I'm going to give is I first in Latvia, I finished 2 schools in Latvia, first in Academy of Culture, where I studied dance, and then Art Academy, where I studied scenography. And I would say that after each of these schools opened very different networks, that don't really overlap, even if they are in the same city. That after finishing the Academy of Arts, suddenly a visual art setting opened up for me as a dance artist. I could start to make work for visual art context festivals, or show work in galleries, or audience from the visual art setting would start to come to see the dance performances. And then, so that is one aspect, and then there's another aspect. In the morning, we spoke at some point about when you're studying in school, your choices, what you choose to put in curriculum, that if you put something, you have to take something out because there's only so much time. And then we spoke about all these skills that a young professional should have when they're exiting school, and obviously it's an impossible mission because you can't have it all. And one of the ways how to mitigate this problem is through the connections that you create. If the school has been great in facilitating your connections, let's say, as a young performance maker with producers, then you don't really have to become fully on self-producing person because you have these connections and someone else can give you this expertise in a symbiotic manner. And I believe that that's important.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up. So connections to set up a career and just to not to be obliged to manage all the competencies, all the facets of an artist. But still, okay, one way to manage this is to have lots of connections on managerial side, etc. But coming back to the school curriculum, what should be in there? Of course, the artistic, physical skills. If we talk about circus or contemporary dance, what else? What else is nowadays the minimum? What a graduates should be able to do? Anybody?
Yeah, I think besides all the technical stuff and all the dance class and theater class and everything, what we try to do now is to prepare the student for the new world. Like, I mean, it's harder and harder for sure, and we try to give them all the tools they can get in the school. So it's a professionalization. We start in the first year now. It used to be in the third year. Now it starts at the beginning because it's they have to be artists and they have to work and they have to find a way to be still an artist and don't give up at the end of the school. So we try to give them everything we can do. So it could be how to build a tent, a big top, because it could be. And like Aurélie said before, it's all the thing in administration, how to do a budget, how to present themselves, how to now they have to learn English. But there's so many English people and so many Spanish people, so they have to learn another language. But also with there'll be. Yeah, to present and the photo and music and video and all the thing, they are to be prepared because during the school it's okay because you have everything, but after the school is, and I think it's harder and harder because like after the COVID, it's the thing completely changed, and we try to do that, and it's quite hard in Chalon because we are a small city. There's no other school art, so there's no big exchange with other students or artists. All the artists in Châlons-en-Champagne are in the CNAC. They are students or teachers. So we try to bring many people. Like last year, we are more than 100 artists came from doing workshop or teaching or doing something like that, but we bring many people from outside, but it's quite hard to be outside. We are not in Paris, we are not in Toulouse, so it's different way to make connection with the world. And we used to tour a lot, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. We do a tour abroad, and it's finished now. And yeah, it's not, it's hard when we are in a small city with no connection, and all the connection is inside, but it's not the real one when they get out of the school. So.
Thank you. Ramona?
And also all the thing we try with to do the Erasmus, but we are not. We just welcome one girl from, I don't know, I don't remember. 2 girls from. No, the two people get in Erasmus, and only 1 girl come in the CNAC. But we start 2 years ago. So, but we hope that in a few years there are many exchange between the high school. But there's not so many high school in the world also. So we have 17. Is that right? In all the how many high school in the world in Circus? 17. That's right. Not all in Erasmus. For example, in Belgium, in ESAC, they are not in the Erasmus team. I don't think so. Yes, you are? No, I don't think so.
Sounds like some connections could be made.
Yeah.
Ramona, you have something to say about Latvian Academy of Culture on a skill-wise. So besides artistic direct practice, what else there is or should be, maybe?
Yeah, we are academical program. It's different because we have quite a lot of those theoretical studies. So it's somehow necessary because I think you can't be really a contemporary artist. You have to know the context, cultural context, political context, history, and I think it's very important that we are not going just into the studio and dance from morning till evening. So we have to somehow understand that we live in the wider world. It's not just that, and it's also some kind of provoking thinking, and also we somehow try to make those some kind of connections. For instance, this semester students had like composition in a really tight connection with the history of art. So it's some kind of trying to get there also, and especially when it's not BA studies, when it starts to go to MA level, it gets even more complicated and deeper, but it also opens up thinking and not just cognitive thinking, but also some kind of body thinking, because I think you can really get theory if you feel it in your body. So that's, I think, makes it easier somehow.
Could be. You mentioned theories, and a question to everybody with all your different perspectives and the roles in this ecosystem. So speaking about theories, the theoretical research. In the previous panel, we just heard some reflections about artistic research. What does it mean, when to do it, and whether at all. Academic theoretical research of a certain art field, maybe circus or dance. How important is that? What does it bring to the field, this knowledge? Does it matter at all?
It matters, but actually we have like academical, but creative. It is a very important part that students are creating their dance works and also writing some kind of theoretical part of that work. So about like really theoretical research, it helps to make better some kind of base to prove that we are art and not entertainment. Just so I think it's connecting also to the circus field, and also this is what opens up discussions about like meanings, terms, so it's history and theories, and also intermingling through those different theories in different arts, the same theories in different arts, so it's...
Yeah, interdisciplinarity again. Peggy, at the CNAC, you have some research as well. You have a research program, of course, so your students do research. How do you see, how important is that?
We have a research center. After, we'd like that our students go more often to the research center. Usually at the end of the school they say, oh, I didn't go so often at the research center. That's a pity. Say, yeah, I know. And yeah, we try. They have to do some. Some course in the research center. We try to do like the history of art or something like that. They have to be there, and they have to. They have many lessons over in this, but usually. Usually it's after the school. We try to connect at the research during the school, but they are not really interesting. That's the point. We try to make some, to ask them something, to ask them to do research in different, history, art, or philosophy, or something like that. There are many courses different. But usually it's really at the end, and they say, okay, I'm pretty interesting. And after, it's more than when they are 40, 45 years old. They used to be a CNAC student, and they come back with a subject. But it's quite hard during the education.
So it's not a mandatory part of the curriculum to do research?
Yes, they are, but
it is.
Yeah, like many other things, but they are not so
They managed to skip.
No, but like they really want to. It's hard for them to be in a classroom, so we try so many things, like the teacher, the philosophy teacher, it's also a choreographer. So we try to mix something to interesting them, but it's quite hard.
I guess we have 2 more minutes left. Andra, please.
No, I had some, I heard what was said, and I had this importance of research is just when you need to have a reflection of what are you doing, of art itself. And another thing is that helps as well to communicate with the audience. Somehow they are interpreters from artists to the audience in some cases. And at some point you don't need such an interpreters, but at the very beginning when you are growing up, and when you are growing up the audience, so it's very important to help to understand and how to look at and what's important in that, why you should spend your time and money in watching that.
Séverine, you also have a resource center on circus.
Yes, in terms of research, what we do is that we actively reach out to university departments to put circus on their research agenda, so that it can also somehow be integrated in different ways into the curriculum of, theater sciences or other relevant studies. But I also just wanted to add something on what can we do for recent graduated alumni from the perspective of a support organization or even a leisure school. I think as a support and knowledge center, it's important to actively reach out to alumni when they return to the region, that you can orient them also into the landscape and point them to relevant organizations and subsidy lines. And another example, that's what we do with the crash course for newcomers that we started organizing since last year. And then as a leisure school, I would say an example is El Circo del Fuego in Antwerp that they have now since 3 years. They have something what's called Startup Lab that focuses on recent graduated students, where they can actually do a paid internship of 8 weeks to give them time and space to orient themselves after graduating and finding their way into questions like, should I be self-employed, should I start my own company, and also giving them time to do artistic research and create.
Thank you very much. I think we have to finish. Just the last thought that I can hold to myself, I have to say it. There's this saying that it takes a village to raise a baby. This is what I was thinking while you were speaking, though maybe this circus, at least in Latvia, is kind of new circus, contemporary circus. It's like a baby, and it takes all the components of the ecosystem to work together to make it grow and rise. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Riga Circus. Thank you, Fedek.